Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. My name is Brianna and this is For Pause and a Book. Today I'm going to be doing a video that's been going around BookTube quite a bit, and that is these books will self-destruct in 12 months. Alright, first off, I apologize for the lack of makeup. I couldn't be bothered today. Mostly because I am breaking out on my face. I'm trying to give myself a little bit of a break and moisturize my face and not put a bunch of chemicals on it. It's fine. Okay, so this video was originally created by Becca from Becca and the Books, and I will link her down below. I think she's been doing this for a couple of years actually, and for some reason this year it blew up on BookTube and I've seen several people do it, so I'm gonna join the trend. I've picked 12 books that I am still hanging on to. They have not made it into an unhaul pile yet, but for one reason or another I have not picked them up. Some of them I still have quite a bit of interest in, but maybe the author's done me wrong. Not being problematic, but just they did something in another book that I did love. So without further ado, let's talk about this. I have them broken up by genre and age range. So let's just start with fantasy. That's my biggest stack. We're gonna start with middle grade. The first one on here I am going to jump out of the gate with a big hitter, and that's Wondersmith by Jessica Townsend. This is the second book in the Nevermore Chronicles or Nevermore series, and I read the first one and it was a huge disappointment for me, and because it was supposed to be a 5-star prediction and it wasn't, I was so bored by it. I haven't wanted to pick this book up yet. So I'm putting it on this list. If I don't read it in 12 months, I'm just going to kind of DNF the series and move on with my life. And that's fine. I'm not going to spend my time reading books that I'm not excited about. But I'm putting this one on the list just to kind of give myself an extra year, I guess, essentially. Then I only have one adult fantasy on here. And this is another one that was pretty popular a while back. In fact, most of these are really popular. I just haven't read them. Obviously, that's why they're on this list. So The Invisible Library by Genevieve Cogman. I bought this book in early 2018, I think, and it's been on a couple of TBRs, and just for one reason or another, I never finished it. I never picked it up, so we're gonna put this one on the list. This book is about a library, obviously, and their job is to collect works of fiction from alternate realities. And so there's multiple universes, I guess. So I feel like this is going to be maybe A Darker Shade of Magic meets The Library of the Unwritten. I feel like that's going to be the comparison, and I liked both of those. So this should be one that I'm excited about. I just haven't gotten to it because it's sitting, I don't know if you can't see it from here. My shelf down here, below my rainbow shelf, is fantasy paperbacks, and this is sitting at the bottom of the stack, and so I just haven't picked it up. So maybe if I move it, I don't know. I'm trying not to cheat the system at all. I'm putting these books back where I got them, or at least on the shelf that I got them. I didn't pick any that were down in my basement just because I know I only pick those books, honestly, let's be honest. I only pick those books if I have a prompt for categories and I can't find one up here. Those are the books that I'm not as excited to read, and they kind of rotate every once in a while. I'll go down there and I'll be oh, actually I'm excited about this book, and I'll bring it up, and some of these go down. It happens. This one has stayed up here. I just haven't picked it up, so we'll see. Okay, I have 3 YA fantasies, and they're all very popular, or they're popular authors. So here we go. The first one, now in my video that I talked about authors that I was breaking up with, I talked about Holly Black. But then I realized I still have this book on my shelf that I have not read, and that is The Coldest Girl in Cold Town by Holly Black, obviously. So this isn't fae, this is vampires, and part of me wants to read this. So it's one of those things, this is a very seasonal book, so I either have to read it basically now or wait until almost 12 months. So we'll see if this one actually happens, but I'm intrigued by it. I haven't heard a lot about it like recently, because obviously this book was published years ago. I picked it up at BookCon. Did I get it signed? I did. I got it signed. So I don't know. We'll see. I think this is about a girl, like it's a cold town, obviously, with vampires, and a human gets into the town, I think. But I don't know. The next book I started reading back in 2019, and I started the audiobook, but I was in such a slump that I never finished it, and so then it became like it just sat on my shelf and I didn't do anything about it. And it's been there ever since. And that is The Merciful Crow by Margaret Owen. This is about a bunch of cast of people, and they're all like based on different birds, and the crows are the like bottom cast, but there's a pandemic or a plague or something like that happening, and the crows can pick up the dead bodies because they don't get the disease, something like that. I've heard some really good things about this. I think either the second one or the third one just recently came out, so this has kind of gotten another resurgence, and so it sparked my interest. I saw it on my shelf this morning as I was going through my list of books that I wanted to put on this list, and we're gonna put this one on here. And then the last YA fantasy is another one about vampires, weirdly enough, and that is The Beautiful by Renee Ahdieh. Now, I got this one from Book of the Month when it came out, and then I saw so many like 1-star reviews, and I put it on my shelf, and I was like, okay, I'm not ready for this, because I didn't want to be disappointed. I thought this was going to be the resurgence of vampires, and I don't think it is. However, the second one came out, and again, because I don't know if it's because of the spooky season or what, but this is getting another resurgence, so it's piqued my interest again, but we'll see if it does for the next year. This says it was an October 2019 Book of the Month, so it's been on my shelves a while, 2 years. Now I have a couple of sci-fi / dystopian books, so let's talk about those. They're all young adult, weirdly enough. I say weirdly enough. Most dystopian tends to be YA, let's be honest. The first one I have is Drag by Neil Shusterman and Jared Shusterman, which is Neil Shusterman's son. And this is a book about a community. I don't know if it's community or just an area. Basically, the water runs out, and so it's like very like pandemic-esque. I had a friend of mine reading this at the very beginning of the global panini that we're in, and the like first chapter is about like the grocery store and like people panic buying, and so like it was a little triggering, so then I put it back on my shelf. The reason why I haven't really picked this one up specifically though is because I was so disappointed in the Toll. Scythe and Thunderhead were so great. They were, the world building in that was so good, and then the Toll was such a disappointing conclusion to that like I've been hesitant to pick up anything else. I also have Game Changer by him, but I'm not putting that one on this list because I just recently hauled it, so like I'm not gonna do that quite yet, but we'll see, maybe next year. Anyways, this one has been on my shelves for quite some time, like even before reading the Toll, and that was like February of 2020. So I'm hesitant because this author has wronged me before. Okay, then we have Midnight at the Electric by Jodi Lynn Anderson, and this book was hyped quite a while ago because Books and Lala read it for one of her like secret videos and really liked it, and so then I think I found it on Book Outlet or something like that, and I was like, oh great, it's cheap, I should probably like it. The problem is this is not just sci-fi. There's 3 POVs, which I don't love. I do not love nonlinear timelines. And 2 of those timelines take place in the past. And I think it's 2. Yeah, 1934 and 1919. So not even like great times in the past. So I've definitely been hesitant about this one because it's like part historical fiction, part sci-fi. So I'm interested to see the intersection of those 2 genres, but it's been sitting on my shelf for probably 2.5 years now. So I don't know. We'll see. Will it sit here for another 12 months? And then the last one is another one where the author has just disappointed me, and that is The Thousandth Floor by Catherine McGee. And this is like more like a utopian thing where like New York City, there's a 1,000-story building and you live on it like level based on your like status, I think. The problem is that this is the same author that wrote American Royals, and I hated that book so much. It was boring. It was just drama, and so I'm afraid if we have another YA like group of teenagers book, it will be the same thing. So let me know if you've read this. Should I just unhaul it now? This one is probably like, of all of the books on here, this one is probably the one where like I feel safely confident that I will end up unhauling it in the next year. Okay, and then I have a couple of thriller mysteries and then a couple of contemporary romances. So let's talk about those. These two thrillers, or mystery, I don't know if one is a mystery or thriller, I don't know. These are some of the oldest book of the months that I still have that I haven't read. So this one is Still Lives by Maria Hummel. This has been on a couple of TBRs in my career here on BookTube. And it's about a missing person and an art thief, I think, or like an art show, and then someone like doesn't show up to the art show, and then like the main character is accused, I think. I don't know. We'll see. It sounds like a Law and Order episode, let's be honest. That one is from May 2018, so it's been a while. And this one is March 2018. This is like probably one of my first boxes, and this is The Last Equation of Isaac Severy. No one talks about this on BookTube. Never seen anybody review this. This is about the daughter of a world-renowned mathematician, and he dies, and sends his daughter like the last equation, his last like problem, that she's supposed to deliver to someone else. And then there's like a bunch of clues for her to get to that someone else. So it feels like it's going to be kind of like, I don't know, might be a little corny, and I don't know why, but I've never picked this up, and I've had it for almost 3 years so. And then the last two are contemporary romances. The first one is The Sun Is Also a Star by Nicola Yoon. This one has been in and out of unhaul piles for so long. I'll put it in an unhaul pile, and then I'll see someone talk about it. I'm like, oh no, I actually might like that. So then I take it off, and then I put it back in, and then I take it out. So we'll see. This is a love story, 12 hours in the making, or 24 hours in the making. Basically, like, she's about to leave the country, but then she has this meet cute with a boy. Yes, it's a YA hetero romance, but there's also a lot of like deeper social commentary in here, particularly about immigration. So we'll see. And then the last one that I have is an adult contemporary romance, and I think it was a very long time ago a book outlet order, and it just ended up sitting on their shelf because it matches in the blue, and that is The Good Luck Charm by Helena Hunting. I think I picked it up because I was like, oh, it's a sports romance, but it's a hockey romance, and I haven't read a whole lot of hockey romances that I've really loved. I've read maybe one or two, but that's just not a sport that I follow, so it's not a sport, like a sports romance that I tend to like gravitate towards. So that's why this book is going into this this list, and we'll see what happens. Those are 12 books, I think it's 12, that will self-destruct in 12 months if I don't read them. That's one book a month. I can do this. I can do that. Hopefully this category's gods will like lead me in the right direction. Let me know down below if you have read any of these books, if you think that I should definitely jump on some of these, or if some of them aren't worth my time. And if you're not feeling chatty, you can do the explosion emoji. Some sort of explosion, the bomb going off, or maybe even the mind explosion. That is all I have for you today. If you are new here and you have not yet subscribed, there's a little red button that you can do so down below the video, and all of the other links to my social media will be in the description below if you would like to be my friend on any other platform. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you next time.